Well, the roadmap roundup is up, so let us talk about that. 4.2 is now on the roadmap. What's going on in the lead up to the next update? 4.11, old news. We're 4.2 babes now. We're going into Wiccolo. Redacted cards are purposefully hiding details to avoid spoiling content for players. As we have now started our test cycle with the Wiccolo, you will learn more as we progress through the development of 4.2 and beyond. Now, we just covered the Wiccolo stuff, and there are plenty of spoilers in there. I will stick to what the roadmap roundup says here so that we don't do spoilers for anybody who wants to see that as the official source. So, with that being said, let's jump in. The release view has confirmed missions on the local maintenance side, implementing new missions into the persistent universe, first appearing in Pyro's outposts. Players will be tasked with going to the location and fixing equipment with fuses and repairing pipes with your multi-tool. These are in the game in 4.11. You can find them around. Mission animal control missions. Enabling animal population control missions. If you don't like animals, you can go kill them for money, I guess. Hunt the Polaris, also been released, adding a new Fleet Week mission. The Polaris has been stolen by the Frontier Fighters, and the CDF is tasked by the UEE Navy to hunt it through Stanton, isolate it, and kill it. The mission will be offered rarely, can be shared, and will only be one active at a time. I hope that they just rebrand this for different things throughout the year and don't just limit it to Fleet Week. And then we got the new hairstyles. Just 4 new hairstyles coming to 4.11. SMG Quartz. This is the new compact yet devastating firearm designed for those who need a maximum firepower and a minimal frame. It's unfortunate that they don't have it's not splitting the beams like they talked about before. We got the components pass that we saw come in with 4.1.1. That was a good touch. I haven't really gotten to test it out very much, but I mean, it definitely sounds like they're moving in the direction they talked about like 2 or 3 years ago when they were like, yeah, we're resetting everything. We're going to start rebalancing archetypes and then go to roles and start making things more unique. Looks like they're also starting to hit the components too. So that's good. Adding the following special ships to Wiccolo's Emporium: the Starlancer Mechs, the Firebird, the Peregrine, the Zeus ES, Zeus CL, Intrepid, and they all have top grade components. Currently they are stock, but will be fixed in 4.2. These ships can be unlocked by bringing the NPC Wiccolo a number of favors in exchange of rewards. Now, this is key. Wiccolo is anything like Wiccolo is just going to keep on giving for this game, because you no longer have to spend real money on these things. You no longer have to even spend fake AUEC on these things. You can now just run missions until you get enough of another type of currency and then go buy them. And that's pretty nice as long as you don't care that other people are getting them in different ways. I know for some people, they're like, oh, they're buying it with real money. It doesn't matter. But this is good. We're seeing alternative ways to get more ships. This is very much on board with what they said for Star Citizen 1.0. It's on board for making the game more playable, and it's on board for making it an actual game. I love it. I love to see this. All right. Space combat missions, UEE, training, patrol, and ambush. We've seen these good missions. We've talked about these. We've covered these. Let's move on to the exciting stuff. 4.2! Let's go! Sorry. Okay. New creatures coming in 4.2. Adding multiple new creatures to the verse. It's a very short description, but we literally just talked about the new creatures they might be adding in the Wiccolo video, so you can go check that out if you'd like. New hairstyles coming to 4.2. Additional four more hairstyles. I kid you not. That's gonna make hairstyles in 4.1, hairstyles in 4.11, and I think hairstyles in 4.0. Dude, I bet some people are seething at this. Folks do not like when they add this kind of stuff. I don't know why. Everything that we have covered regarding the character customization, like they've been some of the most disliked videos. People will come and chat and just hate this stuff. But I don't know what to say. People like customizing themselves. Hair is pretty freaking important to a lot of folks. And I know you don't see your face that much in the game right now, but knock knock. The game's gonna change. It's gonna happen. You can already see with this mission coming in the new game. You have to take your armor off for it. Radiation gameplay, we talked about this. implementing dangerous radiation zones in specific locations, forcing players to adapt with specialized gear and strategic navigation. We could touch back on this again real quick for those who didn't see it. I'll show you guys the other example they gave actually. So this was an example of a possible mission where you would be dealing with a component or equipment or something else that could be in a city or an outpost or a space station or even a derelict spaceship that you have to go and repair or get around.
Okay, Bone, let's use the multi-tool to repair that pipe.
Literally, this is the mission we just got added in 4.1.1, but they're now going to add this radiation aspect to it that you can see here in the corner.
Okay. Right, we can see at the bottom left of the screen, the radiation levels are decreasing. So let's head into the scene. Go on, Bone. Let's walk forwards a bit.
And for those who also didn't get to see that from earlier or really get to hear how exactly this would work, here is just a quick look at radiation and explanation from a dev working on it.
There. So in the middle, you got the amount of radiation that being pushed on your body. If you have a directional source, it's based on your body surface and your distance to that source. So by going behind the cover here, I can completely cut off all the radiation. So I can use that. And then on the left, we have an icon that has a shield around it. Now, that shield works in two ways. Right? First of all, it comes from your outfit. So depending on what you're wearing, you're going to have a better or less accurate shield, right? It has a threshold. As long as your radiation doesn't exceed the threshold, the shield will hold true. It'll scrub all the radiation off, and you can stay there as long as you like. But as the shield...
So that's how radiation is going to work, and something that's coming in with this update that I think will spread throughout the game pretty quickly. ASD Research Facility, strategically located on Pyro 1, associated science and development facilities that provide essential infrastructure and sandbox gameplay opportunities for planetary operations. Associated Science and Development is not necessarily the best company, but most Star Citizen companies are not the best companies. They make some pretty advanced weaponry. They had an interesting catastrophe where one of their guns killed a bunch of people. We don't really know much else about them, but I'm sure we're going to learn quite a bit about how much we should or should not like them in these upcoming missions and facilities and things like that. Card added as tentative, so who knows. I think it's worth noticing here. I just realized. Give me a moment. I want to check something. I want to go back to an early roadmap roundup for 4.1. This would have probably in like February. And I want to see if this said deliverable releases with 4. Oh, this is 4.0.1, right? No, not this. March then? This would have been like early March. What I want to see is how they referred to the update in that roadmap roundup. This will work. March 12th. Did they call it 4.1? Okay, so they only referred to this as 4.1. And what that does is it can kind of be a little confusing because people will see stuff and not know if it's coming in 4.1 or 4.1.1. Because this could stand for the entire branch of 4.1 updates. But then I see this. Nope, not that. Where's the new one from today? This is 4.2.0, and I don't know if they've done this before, which is why I'm like wondering, I need another roadmap roundup around that time, beginning of March, end of February, or if anybody can confirm this for me. 4.1.0. See, okay, yeah, no, it can't be trusted, because this is stuff that was added in 4.1.1, right? Or am I wrong? Am I confusing myself now? Take the 0 as an original meaning. I don't know. I'm going to have to look more into that. Because it very well might be that this is all stuff they're planning on having in 4.2.0. Or it could be stuff that might come in 4.2.2 at some point. I don't actually know. But they do say 4.2.0. So at least for these, at least for new hairstyles, it looks like that is confirmed there. Continuing on, we've also got a data center in addition to that research facility. This is strategically placed on Pyro 4. Beautiful place. Associated science and development data centers are provided key infrastructure and sandbox gameplay opportunities for planetary operations. And then we have a sandbox activity. Adding a sandbox activity utilizing new gameplay mechanics and vehicles to tell new stories in the verse. So all 4 of these things are probably related, and this too. So they're not even placing these in an update yet. All of this stuff, they're not going to tell us which update these are coming in. This is the only thing currently confirmed for 4.2.0. Continuing on, we've got the Atlas Ichty. This is the combat variant of the Atlas from Argo. We kind of knew this was coming. Looks like it'll prove its value in the new sandbox activity, which confirms new activity is combat focused, like we've been talking about. Wiccolo special ships are getting updated in 4.2. They'll be adding multiple new ships and vehicles to the ever-expanding emporium. These ships and vehicles can be unlocked by bringing in NPC Wiccolo a number of favors. So again, every update, they will continue to build on that. That's just a gift that's going to keep on giving. Volt shotgun, the Prism. I don't think we have any visuals of this. We might. Actually, this kind of has a shotgun look to it, doesn't it? This middle one. Because this is the Quartz. And then we've got the Parallax. This is the Sniper. I don't remember what they call the Sniper. Oh, there's a picture of it on the roadmap. Here's the Quartz again. Yeah, I think this is the shotgun. Let's see. Oh. No, the shotgun looks like a smaller Quartz. It's shorter than it. So there's 5. So we got the Prism. That's the shotgun. We got the Quartz. It's the SMG. The Parallax is the assault rifle. And then there's also these 2 guns then. So there's 5 Volt weapons that we already know of. Because this we don't have this, and what we just saw on the roadmap is definitely not this, unless maybe they redesigned it. That's also a possibility. They just redesigned these weapons. But there's definitely a sniper that they haven't released yet. Yes, there's also a pistol. So they're going through the whole range for this company. I honestly thought that these were just going to be like 2 or 3 different companies. Oh, you think this is the LMG? This one? Well, yeah, we also know there's a pistol. They're definitely bringing out a lot of guns for this company. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just going to be a couple. That's pretty cool. More combat stuff, though. We've also got the Sterling Exploration Shoop. The Shoop. Introducing the Sterling Exploration Suit, a heavy utility armor built to withstand extreme radiation, enabling safe traversal through the most hazardous zones. Another thing that's probably going to be added to that activity that we're talking about. Dynamic rain. Adding dynamic rain in specific locations as a first step towards Genesis. Dynamic weather, we'd looked at that during the Evocati talk we had previously. You can see more visuals of that. We won't get into that. New global event, 4.2.x, adding a global cross-shard event that builds on collaborations and competition. Definitely confirmed to not be 4.2.0. Cool. So, not only are they adding a sandbox activity, this is really important. I bet these are going to get confused. They are adding a sandbox activity that is going to be something that's always staying in the game for us to do with all this stuff. They're also adding a global event, which will be something that's timed, like Siege of Orison, Xenothreat, Blockade Runner. There's going to be so much activity to do in 4.2. I really hope we see some good core updates, core tech updates, at least a feature or 2 drop in with all this stuff to satiate that side of our insatiable citizenness as well. This is also planned for 4.2.x, new combat space missions now, adding a collection of missions tasking citizens to defend various places against attackers. This is just another version of the same missions that we saw added with that previous roadmap roundup where they added in the different security stuff with the voice acting. They're just piling it on. More and more. Keep going. Keep adding more. New medium utility armor as well. This is different from the Sterling, adding a new legendary medium utility armor scheduled to come in 4.2.x patch. So 2 armors, new weapon, new missions, new locations, new vehicles, new ships most likely, new ships being added to in-game rewards, radiation gameplay, which actually is a feature edition. So that's a feature edition finally. New creatures and weather. Not bad. And this is the very first thing they're telling us about 4.2. There's going to be more stuff coming in. We will be getting a patch watch at some point, and they're definitely saving some stuff to surprise us in ISC. 4.2 is looking balling. On the progress tracker, we see a couple updates here. Made a few additions to the progress tracker, which you can review below. Just a reminder, when progress on a deliverable is marked as complete, it doesn't necessarily mean it's ready for release. It may still require downstream support, transition to another team for further work, or other additional steps. This includes the new global event, which we do know is coming in 4.2.x, the new space missions, which we also know, FPS radar and scanning, and engineering gameplay. Let's see what they updated there. It's actually kind of important. Engineering got an update, and it looks like it has scheduled its work to finish June. Well, depending on where it had it ending before, it's significant that they updated it now to only have it ending in the next month. I always talk about how we can't depend on the progress tracker to show this stuff because it's just like when they schedule it, it doesn't tell you how much unsurety or how much change there might be in the plans over the course of this long freaking deliverable. It only says when they are currently planned to stop working on it. So it's saying something a little significant that their planned completion of the currently scheduled work, at least, is only for 1 more month. This could indicate what they've been showing us, which is basically that engineering is going to go into early testing for us at that point. We test it however much they want, and then they take it back and work on it more. And then this gets expanded further on into the year. Could also mean that they just put it in EPTU and then it goes to live from there. I don't know. But there are a lot of signs going on right now, especially in the last week, that engineering is getting pretty close to being in our hands, which is good because we've been waiting a long time for it. The other one is FPS radar and scanning. Let's see where that got updated. Similarly, the work for it got reset to a new time, I assume. This one being much further out in August, so definitely less of a possibility we would see this one coming to the tech preview in the next month or two. It might be something that's more likely to come closer to the run up to 4.3, maybe, or 4.2.1 or 2. Either way, both of these things are really important to the game. FPS radar and scanning, as well as engineering. And pretty clear that they're making some good progress finally. But this was your deep dive into the roadmap roundup. May 21st, our first real official news at what's going on in 4.2 besides the Evocati patch notes we just went over in the other video. But I hope you got some good info from this, learned something cool. Thanks for watching.